All right, my friends, welcome back to the broadcast. Can't thank you enough for being here today. This story was actually inspired by one of our daughters, three, between the ages of about 18 and almost 21. And she walked into the living room last night, look of shock on her face, concern. And she looked at us and said, "What do you guys know about Project 2025? Why is Trump doing this? It can't be right. I know he wouldn't." It was an interesting question in actuality. We've covered it before, but it inspired a little deeper dig. And what we found quickly was she wasn't wrong. There was a viral explosion overnight. Except so many of these folks are misinformed. They were wrong. But of course, that's on TikTok, which is controlled by the Chinese. We would expect nothing else but a great deal of agenda and misinformation. But the story goes deeper than that because it actually flies in the face of reason, flies in the face of fact, and it is something you need to be aware of. Because what went viral overnight has the power and ability to change absolutely everything for Donald J. Trump, and that's why we're going to dig in a lot deeper on this story today. All right, my friends, my name is Justus Knight. Again, can't thank you enough for being here today. If you think you're subscribed to the channel, please check below. Make sure you still are. If you're new here, do me a huge favor and subscribe. So much more information coming if you don't know, and I'm sure many of you do. We broadcast here and at restrictedrepublic.com daily. There's a very special, actually I put 2 discount codes below, whatever works best for you. The best deals we've ever put out for the platform. There's something happening in the background, and I'm just trying to warn each and every one of you again and again and again. If you continue to think you're going to get the news that matters on a public platform, it's not going to happen. It will continue to disappear as it has been disappearing for year after year after year. It's why we spent all our time, money, investment, blood, sweat, and tears in building Restricted Republic. Take advantage of those discount codes. That's your means of supporting me to assure I can continue to bring you the messages that matter, just like today's story. This Project 2025 viral explosion overnight that flies in the face of reason. But why is it getting so bad? Well, Trump is victory after victory, isn't he? Losses in court, but we'd expect nothing less when you have to face the onslaught and tidal wave of improper persecutions. And at least he has some solace in that the people are supporting him, winning Nevada, Iowa, Virgin Islands, New Hampshire primaries steadily, easily. And why? Because everything that's occurring and what people believe in fly in the face of reason. At least the reason that they want you to understand. This continual claim of Trump being a threat to democracy. Well, I would hope he is, because the way they use the word democracy is not representative of what this United States of America is. We are a constitutional republic. But I'll digress for a moment, because you know that word makes my skin crawl, because in actuality, most of it's all a hoax, isn't it? Even the likes of Bill Maher coming out and saying, "Hey guys, Donald Trump isn't Hitler. This is getting ridiculous. Can we please find some normalcy and reason?" But that's not what they want. They want fear. Slate, the horror of who is still listening to Trump. The Conversation, a field guide to Trump's dangerous rhetoric. Vox, Donald Trump's long history of racism from the 1970s to the 2020s. And there we have it. They always plug into that vein of racism as much as they can and attempt to bleed it out as much as they can, but it's absolutely not true. I hope you remember when he was in office, he was quite the contrary, wasn't he? He was concerned about the communities of black and brown. It was a stead hard fact in his administration. Picture after picture, time after time. Trump unveils platinum plan for black Americans, and I hate using any color. But to define this argument, unfortunately, you have to stay within their talking points. The platinum plan, President Trump's pillars for opportunity, security, prosperity, fairness. And he tailored plan after plan. Increase access to capital in black communities by almost $500 billion. Affordable care you can trust, more jobs, And it's exactly what he did. He was the furthest thing from a racist that anyone ever found. And, a misogynist. Did we see any of that during his presidency either? You see, they're the same incendiary rhetoric that's been used from the very beginning, but this one takes on a whole new level that we're about to get into. Trump is losing ground with white voters, but gaining among black and Hispanic Americans. But that doesn't seem to match up with what you're about to see coming out of TikTok, because they have a new devil now, Project 2025. Forget about the economy and jobs. They want you to do that. Who did he help? America gained 7 million new jobs, more than 3 times government experts' projections under the administration. Middle-class family incomes increased nearly 6,000, more than 5 times the gains during the entire previous administration. Unemployment rate reached 3.5%, the lowest in half a century. Achieved 40 months in a row with more job openings than job hirings. More Americans reported being unemployed than ever before, nearly 160 million. Jobless claims hit a 50-year low. Boy, he did terrible. Unemployment rates for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, Native Americans, veterans, individuals with disability, and those without a high school diploma all reached record lows. Unemployment for women hit its lowest rate in nearly 70 years. Nearly 7 million people were lifted off of food stamps. Poverty rates for African Americans and Hispanic Americans reached record lows. Income inequality fell for 2 straight years by the largest amount in over a decade. The bottom 50% of American households saw a 40% increase in net worth. Well, that flies in the face of everything. So why is Trump so hated? Allegedly, so hated is the key word. Because he stands against one thing more than anything else. He's not a globalist in any way, shape, or form. He fights against open borders. He wants the rule of law. He wants order. He doesn't want higher taxes. He wants all people to prosper. And those in power don't like that very much. He calls them many names now, doesn't he? Deep state is one of the biggest. Trump allies craft plan to give him unprecedented power if he wins the White House. But then they twist it. The nation, this is how Trump becomes a dictator. Donald Trump is plotting to make himself a dictator. U.S. could be under right-wing dictator by 20. Whoa, these are very consistent talking points. We've seen that before, haven't we? It's a very consistent message against what is called Project 2025, the Heritage Foundation. We've covered this many times. Building now for a conservative victory through policy, personnel, and training. Helping Trump to pick his next cabinet. He struggled with that last time around. He struggled with many of his confidants last time around. So the Heritage Foundation is stepping in to assist. But the left doesn't like it. So they're misconstruing major portions of this plan. And whose mind is that changing? Well, the generations much younger than you and I, because they're falling for what I will show you shortly, for TikTok and social media steering their opinions, of course. It's not enough for conservatives to win elections. If we are going to rescue the country from the grip of the radical left, we need both a governing agenda and the right people in place, ready to carry this agenda out on day one of the next conservative administration. Because what makes you believe for a moment, if there is not major change, that anything will be allowed to go through? We've seen it won't be. It's going to take a coordinated effort to get any legislation passed, any changes done, and to unwind the damage done to this great republic of the United States of America. This is the goal of the 2025 presidential transition plan. The project will build on 4 pillars that will collectively pave the way for an effective conservative administration, a policy agenda, personnel, training, and a 180-day playbook. But they're claiming that's going to make Trump a dictator. It will give him too much power. He's going to melt down government so he can control it all. You know that's not true messaging, right? The project is an effort of a broad coalition of conservative organizations that have come together to ensure a successful administration begins in January of 2025, with the right-wing conservative policy recommendations and properly vetted and trained personnel to implement them. Again, they're simply trying to fix the ills of the past. Any of you who have been following me for my career know I am not a Trump cheerleader, never have been. Do I stand for the man now in this election over Biden? Of course I do. Who wouldn't? In actuality, everyone from the left I've spoke to also stands for him over Biden, because anybody scratching their head as to how Biden can ever make it through a presidency again, as he dwindles daily in what appears to be a loss of mental fortitude and capacity. Everybody's wondering how he could ever serve another 4-year term. But that's not what they want you to believe. Now, is this a well-thought-out plan wrought with certain issues? Of course, every plan that's put out is 920 pages of a plan, mind you. Mandates for leadership, the conservative promise, Project 2025, we're not going through it all. Because all that matters is they're calling this, of course, a radical plan for Trump's second term. I love that. A radical plan for Trump's second term. We're already giving it to him. Conservatives aim to restructure U.S. government and replace it with Trump's vision. But in actuality, what's wrong with that? A smaller government? Wasn't that what our Constitution was meant to support? Small government? We, the people? And that's what he wants to bring back. America first. These are horrible things. That's how they twist it into what's called a dictatorship, as they'd like you to believe. But it's the viral explosion that's of greatest concern. Clip after clip. Just watch here for a moment.
What's Project 2025? It's a nightmare. That's all I can say. It is an absolute.
There are some very big plans underway for Trump's potential re-entry into the White House.
We are going to be prepared day one, January 2025.
I'm already getting comments on that video of people saying, the government can't do this, you're fear-mongering, they're not going to actually do this, and all of that stuff. Remember
what the fuck is Project 2025? Their website says that it's a plan to reshape the federal government to support the agenda of Donald.
Anytime someone posts a video about Biden potentially losing in 2024, the top comment is always about Project 2025. Project 2025 is terrifying, but it is not good messaging to bring up.
Are single mothers the new government target?
Good morning. If any video I ever post needs to go like super duper mega viral, it's this one.
Project 2025 is seriously terrifying, and it's why you need to vote in the next election. Or
Republicans plan to implement what they call Project 2025 upon the election of a conservative president, and it would cost 50,000 federal employees their jobs.
Y'all are talking about Project 2025, but it's already here. They're proposing laws in Tennessee and Oklahoma that will put you in jail if you help a teenager get an abortion across state lines.
Anybody, even teachers, who are distributing types of media that detail this type of pornography should be jailed and registered as sex offenders.
Listen, I'm watching all of these passionate, heartfelt TikToks being made by our Gen Z, and it's going to make me cry.
Straight up, if you don't vote for Biden in 2024, you're going to have a lot of explaining to do. You're going to have to explain to millions of women across the country why there's a national abortion ban and they no longer have the constitutional fundamental right to an abortion.
The Republican Party's agenda for women in this upcoming 2024 election is pretty clear. They want us married to men and having their children, and that is the only thing they want for us.
You got to think about Project 2025, okay? Wait, what's Project 2025? Well, you see, Project 2025 is the GOP's airtight plan to use executive orders to seize massive amounts of power that they'll be able to hold forever. They're really fascists, you know?
So I think you get the gist of the idea of what's exploding, a viral explosion. But now think for a moment, just for a moment. What have we been watching over the last 3 years? Has the government not been consolidated almost to a single seat of power, wielding the power of the FBI, the Department of Justice, the CIA, into their own bidding? Whatever they want to happen, happens. How is Project 2025 not already here? Not already started? You see, they're all missing the point that they're already living it. Rather, those are simply agenda points to say they don't want it shifting the control that they have created into the power of Donald J. Trump. Fan of his or not, to allow the current status quo. No one could allow. Is your paycheck better? Do you feel more secure? Are you profiting? Are you prospering? I can guarantee you I know the majority of your answers, and I look forward to seeing below in the comments what you feel about Project 2025, or as Trump would state, Agenda 47. You see, all it's going to do, Project 2025 will help him in the first 180 days of his presidency to actually be more effective. Now, some will claim that that means it will be a dictatorship, but many of us feel we're already in one. I look forward to your opinions below. I love you all. Until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justus Knight, signing out.